I might be throwing myself into places I wasn't too eager to go to, but I believe this video is important. Hello everyone and welcome to the Lion Show. Yes, this video was motivated by the recent PewDiePie situation, and I know this topic has been beaten to the ground by everyone on this website. However, I believe that due to the demographics of my audience, and by that I mean unless you're watching this in the future, most of you guys are real-life friends of mine, I can add something to the conversation and also reach some people who I feel to be very apathetic to this topic. Let me assert a few things before I begin. Number 1. I don't want to harm anyone with my words. The reason why I believe this subject is sensitive is because there are innocent people with no ill intents who can lose their jobs over what someone decided to say. My reach isn't big, but I wanted to make that very clear. People have lost their opportunities in this mess because the words of some ill-intended people. Number 2. Not all media are the same. I can sit here and tell you everyone in the media is dishonest and trying to manipulate you, because that's not true. Some people are trying their best, either with their journalism or communication, to make sure people are aware of what's happening in this world. A handful of bad examples doesn't mean everyone else should be placed in the same category. Number 3. Many people made high-quality videos on this subject, so I'll leave them in the description for you to check if you want a more detailed explanation on what's going on, why it's going on, and get overall different views on the situation. My video will be more focused about my experience with the mainstream media and why I left them, and also a message for you. With all that out of the way, here's what I have to say. Here in Portugal we have a channel called TVE. I used to like this channel a lot. I see their soap operas, their quiz shows, their talk shows, and overall I really enjoyed the quality of the channel and the company it provided. And I didn't understand why some people said it was bad. I am also a very passionate gamer. I remember being a little kid and hide behind the curtains because I was so scared of the bullets in Super Mario World on my father's Super Nintendo. I grew up with games, and they have always been part of my life. That's why I was shocked when I realized the channel I used to enjoy was deliberately attacking gamers. I already had to deal with explaining my grandma that Pokémon isn't a violent game, and now I had to deal with lies being told in the news? To provide context, back in 2013, TVE made a report on E3, the world's biggest gaming event. This is how they began the piece. Isolation, aggressiveness, and emotional avoidance, while showing a kid play Sonic on his Wii. This is how a channel, seen by millions of Portuguese people, decided to begin a report on the world of gaming and its largest event of the year. But it gets worse. After this wonderful misrepresentation of the subject they were going to talk about, they proceeded to show surprise to the number of adults attending the event, reiterating to a very ignorant public that the video games are just toys for kids to play and that these people should just grow up. To this day, I deal with the occasional, "When are you gonna grow up and stop playing with that?" The amount of damage this report caused in public opinion is ridiculous. But it gets even worse. The cherry on top of the cake. These journalists ended the report associating games and the E3 event with the 2011 Norway attacks, showing actual footage of the terror event. This report was a huge red flag, and it completely changed the way I perceived the mainstream media from then on. But it wasn't the only time. In their morning talk show, they used to bring a psychologist who claimed that consoles, referring to the PlayStation, were poison. Didn't help with creativity, interaction, or anything at all. He further claimed that it caused people to become mentally ill, cold, and mentally dry, which is ironically what I feel when I have the unfortunate opportunity to watch any of the reality shows this very same channel broadcasts every day. When asked by the host about those games that put you dancing and moving, probably referring to the Wii, he claimed, "Heroin and cocaine also make you feel good and destroy your life." All of this was happening with the background of smiling old ladies, the main audience to this program, and the nightmare of any grandchildren who have to deal with it. I don't need to tell you, these comments by a psychologist on the most watched TV channel are enough evidence for the vast majority of the people who don't have the time to do proper research. But for those of you that do, you'll find plenty of actual scientific papers claiming that games not only aren't as toxic as this person wants you to believe, but might actually help you overcome and deal with issues from Alzheimer to social anxiety to just day-to-day stress. Yet there it was, the thing that some people wanted to hear with no debate, no other voices, no counter-arguments. I am biased, since I defend games to death, but these situations were enough to spark in my brain something I haven't realized before. Maybe, just maybe, the people who are brought to say these things might have an interest to portray them in such a bad light. A television where a kid is playing Wii with his friends is a closed channel of communication for these people. They can no longer spread their messages and values. So what do? They attack the new medium and try to destroy it. This is exactly what's happening with YouTube now, and the reason why I brought these examples up, other than to show why I stopped watching television. I love YouTube for many reasons, and I might make another video explaining why I like it so much, but to sum it up, I come to YouTube and I can choose what kind of content I want to watch. There are several channels that report the current events and give their opinions, start debates, and the variety is so huge, and anyone can participate and add to the conversation. It becomes so much richer, and you can take so much from it. Not only that, but people in this platform are usually honest. Most of them aren't willing to misinform other people for the sake of fitting a narrative, and those who do are very susceptible to criticism. Criticism from thousands of people with very large audiences, much larger than the mainstream media wish they had. In this new medium, discussions are powered by thousands of voices, and events are analyzed in great detail by many informed people. This is something television can provide. No other media can provide. They can only see their numbers decline as people like PewDiePie keep growing and become more and more influential. They feel threatened in this new era of information, and the only thing that they can do is to attack this new medium and try to destroy them. But that's something a lot of people already pointed out. I wanted to talk to you about something else. There's a chance that you, knowing some of you, are being used as puppets. These old media require your anger to succeed. That's the reason why TVE made that report. Dozens of Portuguese gaming websites posted about it, giving them the attention they wanted. All this while misinforming the more ignorant public about the reality of the situation. I want to give you an example that you probably can relate to. A while ago, a lot of sites started reporting things like male pill suspended because men are pussies who can't deal with the symptoms women have endured for years. That stuff was all over my Facebook feed. Dozens of blind shares that friends of mine had done, outraged by the weakness of men who aren't willing to hold suffering to the same standards as women. Except that's not really true at all. And none of these people even bothered to check if it was. In a way, I can understand. Sharing something someone else wrote is much easier than do your own research. But you need to realize that the level of irresponsibility that it is to spread misinformation like this. I'll take the chance to clarify things regarding this study on male birth control, and I'll link it in the description in case you want to read the full thing. Of the 320 participants, one of them became permanently infertile, and 4 years after the treatment, he had not recovered normal sperm count. Would you like to become permanently infertile due to a birth control when there's another alternatives? I certainly wouldn't. Something else I want to point out. It wasn't the man who decided it wasn't safe to keep the study, it was the World Health Organization. This thing had a 96% chance of working, which means you could use it and still have an unplanned baby. You could become permanently infertile. And you also have to deal with all the side effects that you otherwise wouldn't. Personally, I don't believe it is worth the risk when there's alternatives. But none of that mattered for the thousands of people outraged. I don't want to attack anyone. It's like punching a doll. You were manipulated into sharing this story and bring attention to all the media outlets that didn't want to do their proper research and instead relied on your anger to make money. And that's what makes me upset. And that's why I'm making this video. We have a power we never had before. Creators and viewers, we can share a message and influence a lot of people. But as Uncle Ben could tell you, with great power comes great responsibility. So far, I've tried to make my videos in a way that even if they're negative, they convey a message of hope and positivity. I don't want to cut anyone's wings. I don't want to create unnecessary drama or conflict. If anything, I want to contribute to make a better world, and this is the way I found to do it. As such, I have something I want to tell you, and that I want to tell the media outlets who are taking part in these bad strategies. To the media, adapt, do not attack. I don't want thousands of people to lose their jobs. I don't want the graphic designer to become unemployed because the writer of an article slandered an influential person in hopes to destroy them. I don't want to see people who try to do their best to report what's happening in this crazy world to lose their respected platform because of a bad decision on someone else's part. Please adapt to this new era. Please embrace discussion and find ways to make yourself valuable. If you don't do this and resort to low attacks like the Wall Street Journal did on PewDiePie, you're going to lose, just like they did. If you want to keep people on your side and trust you, don't backstab people who follow you like that. To you, viewer of this video, I want you to think critically. When you see an inflammatory article, do some research. See what other people are debating on their platforms. Educate yourself. Only if you improve yourself, you can improve the world. Don't forget, you have the power. Use it wisely. You might even disagree with some points of this video. And if you do, please share your thoughts in the comments. I welcome debates and different ideas because I believe only through discussion we can get to solutions. I hope you can take something from this video, and I hope the time you spent listening to me was worth it. Now, I don't usually say this, but please consider subscribing if you enjoy this show, and leave a like if you will. I have put some effort into this video, and it sure will keep me motivated to press on. This is me signing off. Until next time, stay awesome.